Transition Awareness Breathing. Feeling grounded for both children and parents is essential for healthy living and learning. Join Eartha Powell on this series for tips and tools for creating a harmonious environment for learning. Transition Awareness Breathing will help you and your child find an individualized path to tackle change, promote lifelong learning, and discover new approaches to calmness.
Hello, everyone. This is Eartha, and I'm coming to you from Transition Awareness Breathing after school enrichment class environment. I would like to share a little bit of the practice session that my students have been working on for several weeks. These students are tweens. They are just entering the double digits in their age, and some are in middle school, and some are in the fifth grade, higher level of the basic education system. It's a small group, and I can't even put to words how proud I am of these students. For their graduation, so to speak, from Transition Awareness Breathing, we call it TAB for short, I asked them would they do a practice on one of the mindfulness skills that they have learned. And each one of them performed their mindfulness practice so brilliantly. So I asked if they would mind if I record them and share with their parents and maybe their teacher, and to show how a mindfulness practice would sound like. This is all audio, and with compassion and with safety, I am excluding names, and you'll just hear their voices. Their parents will get the recording with the names included here. But for my general audience, I just want to let you get a feel of these youngsters and their practice, showing that transition awareness breathing can be done at any age. The skills that you'll hear and that they chose was a body scan, relaxation breathing, and review of the mindfulness qualities. Now, when they did these skills off the recording, when they were not being recorded, it was just so spontaneous. It was beautiful. And I wish I had my recording system there, but I didn't. And so I got permission from their parents, and the parents gave me permission to record their voice. So when we started to record, they got nervous. It's understandable, right? So they wanted to use my script. And I said, okay, sure. And I encouraged them to use the script, but make it yours, make it your practice. And so, these are youngsters, and so you'll hear them add their own flavor, their own style, as they guide the listener through their practice. I am so proud of them, and I wish them all the best of success in their mindfulness practice, and that they will remember their mindfulness practice, every day. When we did our mindfulness check-in before we started this recording, they shared with me how they are now noticing like the changes in their body, or they can identify when they are becoming anxious or nervous, and they are being aware. And that is such the first step. And we're still working on responding mindfully. But mindfulness is so flexible. You can take it anywhere, and that's why we call it a practice. Because as we go throughout our day and as we go throughout our life, there may be new triggers, new things that may frighten us or stimulate our impulse. And so that's the opportunity to say, oops, I got to use my mindfulness. And so that's what these tweens are working on, finding the situations, being aware of the situations. And I would like to introduce to you my tween tap students. Now, their ages are from 11 to 12, 13. Okay. The first tap friend is going to review the mindful qualities as compiled by Gina Beigel in her program, Stressed Teens. And all the tap friends will be using material from Gina's Stress Teen program. I just want to review what mindful qualities are. And the best way I can describe them is that they are positive behaviors in practicing mindfulness with our head, our hearts, our hands, our words, our thoughts. And so as you listen to the review of the mindful qualities, keep in mind these are action type of behaviors that we can practice, and we can reflect what our fears of in that particular quality, and maybe come up with some thoughts and maybe some ways in how to grow stronger in practicing a particular mindful quality. And you might want to reflect which mindful quality is your favorite, something that comes easy to you. It makes you have a lot of positive feelings. And so as the review of the mindful qualities are being reviewed with you, kind of keep these things in mind. Okay, thank you. Here we go.
Mindful quality along with non-harmful judgment. There's accepting others to which you want to do and being open-minded, without category and being unconditional. There's curiosity, having no put-downs, and being out of the box, not for it or against it. We recognize that we judge and notice when we judge ourselves. There's non-striving and being here now in your place. There's patience and not trying to get anywhere. There are accepting results and letting go of preconceived ideas and going with the flow. There's acceptance in what it is, and there's also surrendering and knowing that you're okay and when you are. You're letting yourself be, and you feel compassionate, and you allow people to take responsibility for who, what, and where they are. Patience is when life happens, understand, you feel the compassion, and you feel persistent. You hang in and take a deep breath. Trust is when you have safety and you believe in self and others. You are reliable and you've got your back and you've got mine. It will be hard, but everything's okay.
Nice review. Thank you so much. Great. Okay, now let's move to our next tab friend. The next tab friend is going to do a brief, abbreviated body scan practice. And so keep in mind that the tab friends are using a guide, a scripted guide. Again, it is from Gina Baijo from her Stress Teen program. And so that's been our curricula throughout these weeks as we are reviewing mindful qualities. And Gina had a really great go by as far as doing the body scan. So it was easy for our tweens to follow. So here we go with the practice of the body scan. And again, it is an abbreviated practice just to give you an idea of how our friends are learning this practice and what we're focusing on when we do the body scan. So to them, they're familiar with being a participant in this body scan. Now they are practicing being a facilitator of the body scan. And I think, it's one thing when you're a participant in something, but it's another thing when you are guiding other people. And so this is in a small classroom setting, a small group. It's just like, if someone is taking you somewhere and you are a passenger, that's one thing. However, when you are a driver, we pay much more attention to detail and the rules and the safety of driving. So here I'm letting my tween tap friends sit a little while in the driver's seat and practicing these mindful practices with you. So here we go with the abbreviated body scan. Thank you.
Go ahead and get comfortable. You can stay seated. You can lie down whenever feels most comfortable to you. And I'm going ahead to close my eyes and hoping you feel comfortable to do the same. If you don't, you can just notice something in front of you. Something that is constant, perhaps something on the floor, a wall, or on a picture. But if you feel comfortable doing it, gently closing your eyes. And just taking in where you're actually at this moment. When you're sitting or lying down, what room what space you're in. Noticing what energy you have. Checking and whether you feel awake, tired, or some other feelings. Notice any urges to move or urge has an itch scratched. Just notice what arises before you actually move or adjust. When you feel comfortable doing so, bring your attention down to the toes of your right foot. See if you notice each and every toe without moving them. Notice the top of your right foot, the inner axis of the bones that are present there. And then bringing your attention down to the bottom of your right foot, noticing the ball, the heel, and the tender underbelly that contains the two. Moving up to your ankle, then lower your right leg, your shin bone and calf muscle. What is present here? Moving up to your knee and then to your right leg. Notice your hamstring and quadriceps muscles. See if you can notice without flexing them. And holding your entire right foot and leg in your awareness. Notice that supports that it provides as you move up to your hip, to your right hip, and across the left hip, and then bringing your attention down to the tips of your toes or your left foot. As you become aware of the top of your left foot, paying attention to the intricacies of the bones that are present here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for doing that, guiding of us through the body scan, the abbreviated body scan. Nice job. It is a little bit more involvement when you are a facilitator than a participant. You did a great job. Thank you so much. Our next practice is our tween tap friend, who's going to guide us in a breathing practice. This is a short, brief breathing practice. And again, we're following Gina Baijo's guide in Stressed Teens. And so the TAP friends wanted to use a script, a guide, because they were a little bit nervous. But I think you guys are doing a great job. Okay, so here we go with the brief breathing practice. Here we go. Thank you.
First, in terms of getting in touch with your body, notice where you are at this very moment. What is around you? Try to sit comfortably, but try not to slouch. If you feel comfortable doing so, close your eyes. Ask yourself, what am I feeling in my body right now? Quickly move from the tips of your toes to the top of your head and check in with your body, noticing any pain, sensations, or feelings that you're having right now. You might choose something that you hadn't noticed before. If you do, just take a note of it with gentleness, kindness, and openness. Just noticing how it feels to be in touch with your entire body. Next, get in touch with your breath. Pay attention to your nose and your mouth. Which do you use to breathe in air? Do you use your nose or do you use your mouth? Which do you use to breathe out? Maybe it's different, or maybe it's the same. As your breath, gently notice how the in-breath in your belly rises and how the out-breath of your belly falls. If you want to, place one or both of your hands on your stomach and just notice and feel it. Notice your belly rise on the in and gently fall on the out. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. For 1 minute, just notice and breathe. Notice your belly rising in the in and gently falling on the out. Lastly, get in touch on what you're feeling. Notice what arises, either physically or emotionally, without trying to change it. Just notice what you're feeling and say to yourself, breathing in, I calm my mind and body.
Breathing out, I release all I hold in my mind and body. If you feel yourself being physically or emotionally tense, tight, upset, angry, this is the time in which to say, breathing in, I calm my mind and body. Breathing out, I release all I hold in my hand, my mind, and or your whole body. You might notice any of these feelings, and that's fine. You could still say to yourself, breathing in, I calm my mind and body, and breathing out, I release all I hold in my mind and my body. Gently take a pause and reflect on what you just accomplished. You noticed your whole body. You noticed your breath, and you noticed your feelings, both physically and emotionally.
Thank you so much for that wonderful breathing practice. Marvelously done. You guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. I really appreciated your ability to hold back and keep an even pace with your practice. Sometimes when we get a little bit nervous, we may find ourselves talking a little bit fast or a little bit loud, and so we become aware of ourselves, our breath, our speed, how we're speaking, and just in doing the practice, we're doing a mindful way of talking to others. And so whether you were aware of it or not, you were practicing a very wonderful example of awareness and sharing information. Now, at the end, our TAP friends, they want to do a snap. So, not a clap, they said, Miss Eartha, but a snap. So, here's the snaps.
Snap. Good job, guys.
Mindfulness, awareness, and relaxation breathing are skills that can be learned and practiced, I think, at any age. Teaching the skills is what is flexible. In TAP, I adjust the teaching style to the age group. And what I have found is that the children are very excited and they're receptive to the information, and they are practicing. Sometimes their practice is a little bit shorter, and they are growing and learning how to use a little longer time in their practice skills. My goal is to teach the children that calmness is their strength, and that when faced with challenges or stressors or anxieties, that no matter how young they are or how old they may become, that we have a choice in how we respond to our environment. And when we respond with calmness, we can make the better choice in our actions. So I hope you enjoyed this small little practice session and listening to my Tweens TAP friends. And I thank the parents who gave me permission to record their voices. Thank you so much. And also a big thank you to all of the TAP families who allow me to teach their children transition awareness breathing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and enjoy your practice. Have a great day.
Be sure and pick up a copy of Eartha's new book, Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's not just an ordinary coloring book. It features 23 illustrations to stimulate thought, relaxation, and creativity for anyone between the ages of 4 and 94. Increase your positive self-talk energy. Unlock new creative paths. Transform your time once or twice a week to create beautiful art while strengthening confidence, building positive self-talk, and sensitize self-awareness. Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's available now at Amazon.com.